Okay, we are back, and it looks like I have my rewatch crew backstage. So we're gonna bring them on in here. Now we're live, folks. So Al, go ahead and blow your nose now. Let's see. Big Al, welcome, sir.
Hello.
Hello, I hear you there. And next we have Mr. Troy Pacelli, the Klingon cleric himself.
Hi, everyone.
You okay there?
Oh yeah, I'm still kind of reeling from that story. That was
Cool.
pretty heavy duty.
Oh, thank
That
you.
one hit me
that.
a little harder than it would on any other day, I think.
Oh, cool. Well, good to know. I think it's good. And then, of course, gracing us with her presence, her wisdom, and at this point, even her lovely face. This is Nanette.
Hi, everyone. How you guys doing?
We are good. So, yeah. I got a $5 super chat from Agent Boomer. Let me catch that. It says tonight's rewatch of Kiss Me Deadly is now canceled due to its problematic content.
Oh gosh.
Please enjoy a rewatch and analysis of Disney's Frozen.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no. So the link to Kiss Me Deadly is in the description below. It is public domain. It's on YouTube, a great quality version that we're all watching here. So check that out. By way of just a couple of intro. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, somebody say something.
No.
I thought I heard somebody get ready to talk.
It might have been some echo, actually.
Yep. Okay, gotcha.
No.
So, yeah, by way of just a couple of words of introduction, this was in 1955, I think. Very different type of film noir than what we used to been watching here. And I do love this film. I love this film a lot, and I'll tell you why as we're watching it. But it's not my favorite era of film noir. I'm glad that we're looking at it and talking about it tonight as a way to see how film noir has always been able to develop and grow, and it's even still around today, whether you think it's a genre or a style or whatever. But it's a good film. Next week, we are going to go back to the classic film noir with Out of the Past and Laura. I'm even going to change the order up. I've decided to do Laura first, Otto Preminger's. Just to kind of make sure the variety and everything. That's a little lighter because this one is a little darker, but it's still good. So, you guys got anything to say before we start rolling?
I do have to admit that I didn't get around to seeing this before now, so I am going into this fresh.
Me too.
I know a little bit about it. I mean, I know there's isn't it basically the story that inspired Hellraiser? It's about a girl that gets a box and opens it up and is tempted to open it.
There's a bit of that. There's a bit of Pandora's box. Yeah, there's a bit of a lot of cool things there. Shoot, hang on, I'm trying to adjust
You definitely know Tarantino saw this film.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
I got that too. Pulp Fiction, exactly.
And Steven Spielberg. There's even some echoes of, I'd say, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I would argue.
Oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the same scene, basically.
Definitely. So, come on, work out here.
Now, Prof, I want to tell you, I absolutely love that story. That story was fantastic. And
thank you so much.
I hope that you have it published because I want a copy.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
He was saying it's
is.
in actually one of the books that we got. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys have Elsewhere in the Middle of Eternity from Firebringer Press? Yeah. That's where it is.
Yeah.
I think links are in the description below to Firebringer's website. Anybody who's interested in picking that up. I do have another short story as well in that one, and then 2 in the other one. So appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start this. So there's no timestamp because we're just watching. Oh, I guess Al needs a time because you're watching on your file, aren't you? You're not watching on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm watching on a file. Okay. Where are we starting?
Oh, yeah, well, he's got to preserve his bandwidth.
The video starts. I mean, the YouTube video starts. The circle for the Criterion Collection. Do you have that on your file?
Yes.
You do? Okay, yeah. So that's the very first thing you see is a circle. So I'm just pausing it, the YouTube video at the very beginning where it's black screen, and then the circle fades in for Criterion. So if you do that, you'll be in the ballpark with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So
hopefully everybody. I think it's basically from the same source.
Yeah, probably.
I think I'm gonna have to change my avatar to black and white because you all are black and white.
But you're that little beacon of beauty down in the corner, just to people get tired of our mugs.
I actually like the way the bar is kind of working like a frame behind you. I had no. That's actually a good place to stream from.
And I'm not a redhead. We have orange lights for because this is usually the D&D area.
Oh.
And so he's got orange lights above me, so it makes my blonde hair look orange or red.
Oh, well, you're safe then. So,
but you can see the fully stocked bar behind me, including the Batlaff back there.
I think
the
that's the Batlaff. Yeah.
here.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I'll just do the countdown as we usually do. I'll say 3, 2, 1, play, and then we can go ahead and hit play. So that sounds good for everybody. Make sure I got my windows laid out there. Okay. All right, here we go. Matchstick said, "Wait a few minutes, please. Had problems with the popcorn." I think that was a few minutes ago. Now Tom Spiegel says, "I need popcorn."
Yeah, right?
If one person has to go, everybody has to go. See what happens.
Did everyone go potty?
So I think that was a few minutes ago, though. I think we're probably good to start. If anybody needs a timestamp, we can lay that out for the YouTube video. But all right, so we'll say 3, 2, 1, play. And when we say the word play, that's when we'll go. So hit the button. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. And you're not supposed to hear anything, so don't freak out if you're not hearing anything.
Round.
I was thinking the same thing, Al.
And this movie is everything, just about everything in this movie is designed to throw you off a little bit. It's supposed to be off-putting. Even right down to the intro here. Look, no music. Just these bare feet that Al will love, slapping on the asphalt, and then her breath before the music comes in.
And in her first film role, Cloris Leachman.
Yes. Phyllis herself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see, I think of her as substitute Mrs. Garrett.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that too. You're right. Now, Mike Hammer, enter the hardboiled detective Mike Hammer, who is not the same as our Philip Marlowe's or our Sam Spades. This is a Mickey Spillane creation. Chandler did not like this type of hardboiled novel. He thought they were too crass and they are. They're kind of cads, but they have their own unique aspects that we'll talk about as we roll on.
I like that option of the rear wheel cover of the wheel well. It's I think that it's a wind spoil, or to less wind resistance or whatever, but it's an option. You can put it on and take it off.
I just love the look of that car. It's so sweet.
Now, my thing was, she was running in the opposite direction that they're driving. So does she really want to come back or go back the same way she just came from? Yeah,
well, you're right. And you'll find out how kind of turned around and mixed up she is here. But look at this. The credits are coming down at this weird angle. You've got her still crying and gasping, and then the radio playing. Like, everything's throwing you off here. It's just like, this is long before Star Wars, their credits.
Well, it's almost like they're driving over the credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're right. It's like the road underneath them is above them. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Can't go wrong with Nat King Cole there, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love that song. Now, the book was written set in New York City. They changed it to Los Angeles. They changed a lot about this, actually, which I think made it a better story. Mickey Spillane's novels aren't my favorite thing to read. They tend to be far too pulpy, and by that I mean the bad part of pulpy. Like, they get a little too gratuitous and just too, they stray from good writing, I think, just to get a shock value. But I think Aldrich and the screenwriter really nailed this down into a decent tale and took some of that out.
I was reading a commentary about the trends in pulp fiction and really how this particular writer felt that by pushing the envelope like that, it advanced, writing in some ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Spillane does have a following too. A lot of people dearly love him, and I don't think he's a hack by any means. It's just not somebody I really enjoy reading.
Not your cup of tea.
So yeah, she's totally naked, totally vulnerable underneath just this raincoat.
Can we just admire the car?
That's what I'm. Yeah, I
we
can
were
do that.
I think it's sweet.
You can drive one like that in LA Noire, which was pretty awesome.
You could barely drive any car in that game. Actually, I take that back because once Nanette pointed out to me that you can change the way, what inputs you use and use the mouse, for example, instead of the keys. I was actually able to almost drive.
Yeah.
Actually, he did pretty well.
Quite a leap of faith he's taking here. It's
a good point, right? Because he doesn't know. He just sees this woman in need. He's quite rude to her. You're a fugitive from the Laughing House, because
he's rude to everybody.
That's Mike Hammer. But he also does have sort of a little bit of a guiding conscience, It's not as much as Marlowe or Spades, but he doesn't. He kind of thinks with his muscles more than with his head. It's a different kind of hard-boiled detective. You can see there's really a bridge between this movie and some of the vigilante films that would come later, like Charles Bronson or even Die Hard, and ultimately the Punisher himself. This is kind of along that trajectory.
Ah, the good old days.
Man, I know.
Suit, checking out your car.
So
a little hat and everything.
Part thug.
Yeah. Check the oil, everything. I wonder if they'd bring you a soda if you asked. Probably not. Maybe that's pushing it.
Well, the thing is, if he had dropped her off at the first bus stop he came to, she still doesn't have any money.
Actually, they would. If there was if they had a machine there, they would do that for you. But generally, most people wouldn't bother to ask for that because they would take the time to get out and stretch their legs while someone else is servicing their car.
Make sure.
My grandfather actually used to work at a gas station. Right up until I was about 10 years old or so, doing exactly this.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He didn't wear the uniform or anything like that. That was a little bit beyond.
Stephen Cruz is so weird. I'm wearing as much as she is right now. Thanks, Stephen Cruz. Agent Boomer says, yeah, this movie was sold as a thriller of tomorrow. Great point. What do they mean by that? Yeah, so without giving things away for those who are watching it the first time, I will say this is a film noir set in 1955. We're in the atomic era now. We're in Cold War era. Not right out of World War II. It's a different cultural, political tensions, and the movie really does a great job of I think, being a movie of its time quite well.
I want to know why Stephen Cruz is wearing a trench coat in his house.
Who said he's in his house?
Or wherever he is. Okay, good point.
Okay, I'm not a car person, so dumb question. Is there a way to put like a roof up or something over them if it starts to rain?
I don't know that model, but it looks like the type that has a removable hard top, so it might be in the boot.
Notice the difference in her now. She slipped away to the restroom and she posted this letter, and now suddenly she's calmed enough to even have this insight about him. She tells him that you're the only one you love. All these little things.
Well, driving in a convertible is definitely going to have a calming influence on you.
She does seem more confident.
Yeah. And she's passed the road check too, so she's kind of out of that danger anyway, she would think.
True. I love the lighting here. I never would have thought about this before, but what is the light source?
Yeah.
I mean, do they have like some torch on the dashboard or something? You would think not. It's really just a contrivance for the movie so that we can see the characters, but
we're supposed to assume it's the dashboard lights. But
yeah.
That's what but of course exaggerated, but yeah.
But look at the way it works the shadows. It's really effective.
Yeah. And you'll notice a lot of the things with the camera work in this movie. This is the 50s when television was really in full bloom at this point. So film was really competing with television. They had to really get inventive with their techniques and their maneuvers. So you'll see a lot of really interesting work with the shots and with perspectives and things like that television couldn't do, being in a studio with just a straight, the camera's focus here. They're trying to justify their existence as a theater,
Is everyone trying to run this guy off the road?
Right.
I did notice that as you start going into the 50s, you had a lot more. If you're in a car, you're really in a car. You're not, in a fake car with a backlit, rear projection or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she said that she was forced to go to that asylum.
Mm-hmm.
She's got something they want or some information. They're torturing her to death here, poor woman.
Of course, he said, and she told him, if she doesn't make the bus stop, remember me.
Yeah, remember me.
Very important. Very ominous, holding those pliers.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving it to the imagination of what they were actually doing to her.
I know. And that's so much more horrifying to me. I don't want to see Quentin Tarantino show you every little thing. I want to, if you're going to have something like that, the imagination is much more profound.
Well, that sucks.
What a waste of a good car.
I was just thinking that too. That's the hardest part about this. Yes, I feel
How is
badly
the car
for them.
exploding?
Yeah.
Because it's Hollywood.
You could argue that they actually put an incendiary underneath it because their intent is to destroy the bodies. But I think that might be giving them too much credit.
Casey Scott, an Asylum, was Joker or Two-Face there? I know that's what I always think too now when I think Asylum.
Because we don't really have those anymore.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
Hey,
a mixed bag.
And one of the things too, like I said, every little thing is just designed to be off-putting about this movie. Look at the even right down to the actresses.
Yeah.
Now these are very pretty women, they're not, they didn't hire ugly women or anything, but they're portrayed as we go through the film. You'll see they've got the lighting is kind of almost made not to be very flattering. You'll see the sweat on their faces. They don't really have the makeup, like your usual film star would, actress. Again, just the angle, everything's kind of puts you off center.
They're regular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not super ultra glamorous like you'd expect in a movie like this.
Yeah. Agent Boomer, the blonde in this reminds him of Harley Quinn. Ooh, good. Yeah, I could see that definitely.
Let me blur out as I remember.
And well, usually whenever you have a character introduced in a Batman story, they usually draw very heavily on these noir influences,
And that's because Batman himself is a hard-boiled detective aspect to him pretty heavily.
And then as time goes by, they evolve into whatever the heck the writer happens to feel like doing with it.
Whatever traumas Tom King wants to work out at that point.
Or let's just make the girl as sexy as possible.
Uh-huh.
I saw Palm Trees. Are they in California?
Yeah, it's Los Angeles, yeah.
One thing about Velda, that is a very understanding and patient woman.
Oh, well, yeah, she's the...
My Lord, she is patient.
Again, you got the femme fatale and then the sweet, good one, who's loyal to a fault.
Mm-hmm.
This blocking right here in this scene is something we'll see over and over again in the film, where you've got one character in the extreme forefront facing off to the side, and then everybody else acting behind them. Again, playing with depth of field, something you necessarily couldn't do on TV.
Almost like he's lost in thought, and they represent some portion of his psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I recognize that one guy, the one closest to my camera. I've seen him in other things. I can't think of who he is, though. But he's a character actor you just kind of see.
Yeah. So what they're who do you sick on the wives? It's like he just like doesn't even faze him. But yeah, he's a detective who deals in divorce cases in which he will bait the woman himself or have Velda, his secretary, bait the man, then get pictures for blackmail for divorce. So not the most, altruistic individual, but
So he's a
still
scumbag.
yeah, pretty much. But you'll still see that insatiable drive for the truth and for figuring out a mystery.
He thinks
Matchstick
he's Mike
says-
Hammer.
Matchstick says the mid-1900s setting movie combined with them talking about raising the dead reminds me of the show. What is that? Bacano with a mid-1900s setting with alchemists looking for the Philosopher's Stone. Interesting. I'm guessing that's anime. And Ralph Meeker himself was primarily a television actor. And it's interesting that I think he's perfect for this role because you're not supposed to see the depth of psychology in Mike Hammer. You're not supposed to see the emotions across the face as you would a Philip Marlowe for Bogart or something, or even Dick Powell as well.
Mhm.
Now, Eli Wallach. Just a great role. Look at the all of the supporting cast in this movie. They're over the top. In a lot of ways, they're trying to be portrayed as freakish. Cross-eyed or thick glasses, or even this camera angle trying to make Eli look extremely short.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like he's 5 foot nothing.
Right?
Which doesn't really jibe with this angle.
Yeah,
Where it looks like they're
exactly.
almost the same height.
Exactly. Va-va-voom, pow!
I could see if this was done. If this was done today, I could see Cheech Marin playing this role.
Oh, yeah.
You say Eli Wallach, but IMDb has it as Nick Dennis.
I'm sorry. Nick Dennis. Names. I was trying to think of the name of the guy when I was watching it the other night, and I couldn't for the life of me. So I settled on Eli Wallach. But you're right, Nick Dennis.
I can see where you get the Eli Wallach though.
Yeah,
There is
yeah.
a quality there.
Yeah, there's got a similar aspect to him, but overacting that big. Now here we got again looking to the side, depth of field.
And that's an interesting cinematography trick because both the foreground and the background are in focus. Usually one or the other has to be out of focus.
Great point. Yeah.
So those two guys in the car, like the feds or something?
There's somebody. We don't know who. But they're definitely watching him. They're there to tail him somehow. So, and he kind of senses it. Now look, remember Christine, the girl that that was killed with him, said that you worry about yourself, all the good flashy things, a nice car, and all this stuff. Now we're about to see his apartment.
Okay, why was he peeking around the corner and he's doing the same thing here?
He knows somebody's tailing him, so he's thinking maybe somebody might be in his apartment. And look at the art is a big deal in this movie. The art, we'll see the art in his place, which I love. I love that 50s to early 60s style of decoration and whatnot.
Mhm.
But that plays a big role throughout the film as well, thematically.
Is that a shoe shiner in the corner?
Can't tell
I
what's
don't know.
in front of it.
I don't know what that is. All those cameras on the hook there for his work.
He searches
no,
the
those are
apartment the way
cameras.
I search the house when I hear a noise and nobody else is home and there shouldn't be a noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got the little teeny bar cart there.
Mhm. I love
An
that
Arble
TV.
wagon.
Yeah, I know that old TV, man.
I would love to get a classic TV frame like that to put over a nice flat screen. That'd be cool.
I think that bar cart is like a staple in every single movie from this era. Every show had to have one.
Yeah. Yep. Got to have the place for the drinks to offer people.
Well, if we didn't have that bar behind you, I'd have had one of those.
Yeah, but the bar behind me is bigger.
Yep.
Holds more liquor.
Yep.
Tom Spiegel said, "Okay, I got my popcorn. Did I miss any important plot points in the last 3 minutes?" A little bit. Look at that answering machine.
Mhm.
Or if it sound any more bored.
Yeah, that robotic voice.
I do think it's interesting to realize how far back answer phones go. You know,
Mhm.
I hadn't even thought this was something that existed until the early 80s.
I didn't know either before seeing this movie, and I don't know how ubiquitous it was in households. I mean, he's obviously very wealthy, so maybe it was just sort of a fringe thing.
I guess he has to be with the cars he drives.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was something that he had rigged together himself, just so that he could have college reporter while he was out.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is, other movies from this era, I've seen people with car phones. So car phones are an older thing than. A little distracted there. Sorry.
So again, the manly man, he's got his sleeves all, rolled up for the muscles to show, and the woman just melting in his arms. That's a little bit of a carryover from that sort of pulp origin of the story.
I watch a scene going, either kiss her or talk to her.
Why not both?
I mean, I've heard of multitasking, but come on, dude.
And this police officer that
Just walked in.
just walked in. There's always what's the word I'm looking for? Tenuous relationship between the police and the hard-boiled detective.
Right.
Now, they know each other, but they're also kind of scummy to each other.
They neuter him right away. Get rid of his license and his gun.
And look at that little, "I'll throw you in jail." Just that kind of sing-songy, smarmy. Because he knows. He's like, he's not going to stop. I need to throw everything I can against him.
Well, can't he have the other fellow arrested for trespassing?
Oh, yeah, he could now at this point if he wanted. But he's going to try and get some info out of him.
And that's just it. He knows it's a little bit of sparring that they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what he can get away with.
It is really hard to follow. So the thread of the investigation moves extremely quickly. So somebody called Velda. This guy used to be a science person on TV or whatever. That's his first lead. The connections really flow quickly. Like now he talks about this person, or he needs to go find this person. So if you get a little lost first viewing, especially while we're talking all over it, you're human. It's one of those things you got to watch 2 or 3 times on those to really map out the plot of the investigation.
Which is fine for us, but can you imagine a cinema goer back in the day? They were only going to see this once.
Yeah, but they've got better attention spans back then too.
It might be
Sorry
right
to answer your question. He's got an umbrella on the doohickey in the corner, so it must be some sort of umbrella stand or cane stand.
Well, I realized that it was probably one of those canes that, you can
Turn
put
into
up a
chair.
butt flap to kind of half sit against. Yeah.
Put up a butt flap.
Well, I don't know what else you'd call it.
I know it works for me.
Chair. It's a cane chair.
Yeah.
If I hear butt flap, I always picture Long Johns.
Yeah.
And like the flap that comes down in the back.
It's like, I'm no longer interested in kissing you. I'm going to read a magazine.
Yeah. Well, she's upset because she loves him, but he keeps basically pimping her out to go do these jobs. He said, "Well, we lost these pictures of you with that guy. Go get intimate with him again." That's horrible, especially when she's got feelings for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just playing with her, teasing her, kissing her 1 minute, and then telling her to go kiss another guy the another minute. Yeah, she doesn't like him talking about this other woman. Avoiding the censors right there. And she's bending down where you would clearly see cleavage into that dress with the couch right there to, block and the kiss and
Yeah.
everything.
And the ruching on her dress is made to make her look very slim.
The what on her dress?
The rouge.
Ruching, that kind of pleating she's got on there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
It's meant to make her waist very slim and make her look very slender.
Okay. That is so smarmy.
Yeah.
I know.
Enjoyed watching the tape of her and the other guy. I mean, dude. Again, you can tell how why Raymond Chandler hated this development of the hardboiled detective. Like, it total sucks out all the class, and which I agree with. He's not. Mike Hammer's not a character you want to aspire to be. That's not your model of manhood. But for this story, I think it's quite artistic.
Speak for yourself.
He's a sleazebag. Al, you're not a sleazebag. You don't want to be like him.
Okay, sure.
Okay, we'll
Go
go
with
with that.
I was like, they're all fooled.
And his new car.
I know, right? And then it gets another one even. Now I do love how capable Mike Hammer is, and again, it's the link between the hard-boiled detective and the vigilante movies, like your Charles Bronsons and stuff like that. So this guy's going to try and jump him here, and it's you don't do that to Batman,
Yep.
That's not exactly subtle either. Let me light this match. Basically, send up a flare and let them know I'm here.
Yeah. Mr. Matchstick's last movie, the whole drama was about a spy sending out the leading lady. This one is just him straight up pimping the girl. I know. Yeah, it's really abrupt. Age of Boomer says, yes, but I like when Mike Hammer slaps around weaker men. It is fun to watch. You got to thrill at his competency as a hero, or as the warrior.
Even he's got popcorn.
It only cost a dime.
I like
A
Sir
dime.
Torrin. First time I ever read a Mike Hammer book, he was beating the crap out of hippies. I was automatically a fan.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that setup, right? Hippies are usually asking for it.
Now, why would the cigarette stand have a mirror?
Yeah.
Well,
Look at
I'm not sure it was a mirror so much as just the polished side of the thing, but it does highlight his situational awareness, right?
Now look at where he's holding the knife. Another phallic symbol. But he took
Cut
it
the
from
knife
it.
before you lose a part.
Yeah. It's like a symbol of manhood. Like, he's the bigger man. He was able to make him drop that. Also, just I didn't say it, but the way we don't have sound engraver here to tell us about the music, but that the way the music was juxtaposed with the quick cuts of the camera as it was building up to their conflict.
And you
Sometimes
notice
when
he
the
does
camera and
not.
the light hits.
What's that?
And he
I said
just
when the
d-
camera and the
Oh, go ahead.
lights hits him right, he looks like Charlton Heston.
Oh yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah. What were you saying,
Yeah.
Troy?
And he just does not relent. He is it wasn't just I'm trying to protect myself and diffuse the situation. I'm gonna punish this guy. And then what does he do? He's like, okay, now after I've won and you fall to the ground, I'm gonna turn my back and walk away slowly so I get another opportunity to kick the crap out of you.
Mhm.
And I feel so bad for that stuntman who had to roll down all those cement stairs.
And you juxtapose that scene we just saw with Sam Spade in the Maltese Falcon when Joel Cairo pulls a gun on him. And he takes the gun away from him in a heartbeat, and he gives him that grin. It's like, you don't do that to me, son. And and then he beats him for it. Like, you deserve a little bit of recompense for what you tried to do to me. But then that was enough.
Yeah.
Mike Hammer is like a sadistic, like, I'm just going to torture you for a while, so you can see it just ramped up,
That guy's nervous. His hand was shaking.
Yeah. all the cigarettes, and this is that science guy from TV that was fired that it called Mike Hammer. And again, the casting character, his poor face is all scarred and disfigured. I'm just kind of laying these threads out as we go along, and I'll just kind of slowly start tying them together as we get more plot developments, so I don't ruin it for anyone.
I'm reading the subtitles as it's going along. It's like,
oh, good. Yeah, so you can still read the dialogue while we're talking over it. So rhetorically, I guess Mike Hammer was the guy who tossed Father Karras out the window. Yeah, I've had that little bit of Exorcist flashback too. The poor guy rolling down the steps.
That's one way to carry your luggage.
Yeah, but another supporting character in a strong accent, from a different country, carrying something like that, a little weird. You just got a circus freak show, sideshow kind of aspect to everybody around the film. It's just a surreal way of painting it out and fleshing out the film. And even right there, there's the arch of the porch that you're seeing it through, almost like a tent arch or something, Oh, good point, Matchstick. Matchstick says when he was smashing the guy's head against the wall, the graffiti behind it said "Temple Teached." Interesting.
Those are beautiful windows.
Yeah.
I know something about the architecture throughout the film. The staircase going up to the last fellow you talked to with the Bruce face was absolutely gorgeous architecture. And now you see the stained glass windows here for this building.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of staircases throughout the movie. You're absolutely right. It's a big theme. And I love this. I love what he says to him here. So the wife tries to pull rank and tell the man, ask him who he is. And he said, you tell her to shut up. It's just like that authority games, and stuff. Yeah. Yes, Wolfton Media. Thank you. Hit those likes, dang it. Look at this art on the wall. Now, he's about to say that they rent these furnished, but she brings in some of her stuff as well. But look at those masks in particular. Almost like they're melting. It's almost like Salvador Dali or something, But you also have this classic art, and she mentioned Christina Rossetti, the poet that she liked. And Christina Rossetti, sister of Dante Gabriel Rossetti, also died young, kind of tragically, if I'm remembering correctly.
All those books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love books.
Now, this was... oh, shoot. Sound Engraver is going to kill me because I expressly asked her what this piece of music was once, and she told me Schubert's Unfinished Something. But obviously... Well, it's obviously not a piece composed originally for the film, right? It's a piece of music, but it's paired with him seeing a poet too. He finds the book of Christina Rossetti.
I like those lamps on either side of the door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they look like gas lamps, but they're like so cool looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Schubert's Eighth Symphony, unfinished.
Thank you. Oh, it was Schubert. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little bit of PTSD when I hear some of those pieces of music, as lovely as they are, because Alyssa used to watch this show called Little Einsteins. Oh, these little kids, and they would sing made up lyrics to classical music pieces, and they were in these little kid horrible shrill voices, and she would watch those shows ad nauseum. So it took me a while to not hear those pieces of music without some little kid going or whatever.
Well, when I
More
was
staircases.
when I was in college, I took a mandatory music appreciation class, and professor was good. He was like, okay, so you guys are going to have to like learn a bunch of different music and be able to say who composed it and whatnot. He goes, if you need help, I'll work with you. Got to use the mnemonics. For example, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a goat fart. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's Mozart.
Now, I love this framing because first you see her leg framed, her bare leg framed. She's in a robe or coat or something, pretty much like Christina, looking very bare underneath as well. But you see that leg, and then the gun rise up. So it's like the sex, the violence, again, a pulpy origin. And then when he walks in, you see him take notice of the gun, but he's not worried. He's just,
and he's framed perfectly in the bars of the bed, looking at him.
Yeah. And this room is like her little prison because she says she's in hiding here,
She would have been a good Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm. She looks a little bit like Mia Sara from the Birds of Prey show. Is that her name, Troy? Mia Sara? Does that sound wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's funny is I was telling you the other day, we would just watch the 3rd season of Stranger Things, and I can't remember the name of the sister, the one who's the reporter. I said she looks exactly like Mia Sara back when she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I want to say Natalia something.
Natalie, I thought was her name or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Natalia Dyer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or Natalie Dyer, something like that.
We're not going to talk about season 3 Stranger Things on my channel right now.
Oh, for God's sake. When we watch Stranger Things, we'll talk about this film. Okay?
You brought up Mia Sara, who
See?
has nothing to do with this. So.
Look at that. My own joke has got legacy. Al just laid it out.
Back to the film, she said the men came, and he said, what do they want? And he starts walking towards her, and she tightened the robe, the belt on her robe, like trying to protect herself.
Yep.
Have this armor.
Exactly. When he asks what the men want, she's pretty much telling you what the men want.
Now, of course, it's more than that, but you're right. It's that same kind of thing. Now, a lot of these shots, too, where you see part of a character and not their whole body. So that was a weird shot when she sits down on the bed and her literal whole top half is covered by those suitcases, but we still just sit there for a while and see that obscured view. Maybe the camera's telling you this character isn't what they seem to be, or you're not getting the whole picture, possibly.
Or maybe it's just saying, hey, look at her legs.
Okay.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Now we're listening to Brahms.
Nice. And it's interesting the music he listens to going from Nat King Cole to the classical.
Oh, he totally screens his messages.
Yeah. Now, you recognize that voice? That's that same smooth talking voice that was talking about, oh, you can't bring her back. It'll be resurrection, So this was the person that was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know that hardboiled detectives will never accept that.
Yeah.
There's a mystery, has to be solved, doesn't matter how badly you want me to lay off.
Yeah, if anything, it's just pushing him to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he said, look out in front of your apartment tomorrow morning and you'll see our offer or whatever. And it's Nick. Vavoom pow that shows up to see this new car. I like how like spry he is and short. He's like Mario live action.
Yeah.
And he just gets in the guy's car. It's like, dude.
Shows you how close he is. That's one of the cool things I like about the movie too, is it establishes all of these side characters who are kind of freakish or whatever. The movie goes out of its way to try and portray them as that. Mike has a lot of respect for them. They are kind of like his people, like that the old guy he was offering to help carry that, the Nick here, the car guy. So he's even though he's very bougie and wealthy, he's more comfortable with the blue collars than, the police or the other people in circles that he goes in,
The other thing is, the fellow said, "Oh, and the keys are even in it. I'll just take it for a quick ride." It's like, the keys were in it. No one was afraid of it being stolen.
And I love how it's just like a few sticks of dynamite in the classic arrangement of an explosive.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, now let me start the car. Maybe I won't blow up now. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, "Are you sure though? Wait, are you sure?"
I'm trying to figure out what the fusing mechanism would have been on that.
I think did he say something about the starter? I don't know cars at all.
Starter. Yeah, it was
Okay.
hooked to the starter.
It makes sense. It probably could have caused a spark.
Wow.
No, it's terrifying. He's driving the car and he says, "No, there's another bomb in the car. We gotta go get that one out." But very slick, and the hardball detective is supposed to kind of know the city, like Batman knows Gotham, Spade knows San Francisco, I think it was, and such.
There's another bomb.
Yeah, that one's a
Pipe
pipe
bombs.
bomb.
Yeah. So they know the ins and outs of these kind of mechanisms and machinations.
More like baba boom.
Yeah, right.
Ba-ba-boom. I need to work that in my everyday
Why
vernacular.
did he smell it?
Ba-ba-boom. Again, he's just that weird,
Well, in
There's a bomb.
fairness,
Let me smell it.
in fairness, smelling it is as valid as examining it, shaking it, listening to it, find out what's in it, how you might be able to diffuse it.
Boom. That is a sweet car.
Mm-hmm. Don't bother me, small fry. But again, you often have the person who's looking off to the side in those kinds of shots as very myopic in that moment. Like Nick was just focused on nothing but his car. Earlier, my camera was just focused on nothing but the mystery. And other people are trying to tell them, look, these are some other things you might want to consider, whether he needs to or not, for good or for bad. But that's sort of a way that framing, that's kind of what I would argue and read the film as that framing is saying. The one who is looking off to the side is having a very myopic moment or, character arc. She likes hearing that. So it's interesting here trying to figure out what his motives are, because he says she was mixed up in something big, so maybe a cut of something big, so maybe he can get bigger money or something. But at the same time, I don't think you can totally reduce it to that, because he doesn't know exactly what it is. He just knows he needs to know what the truth was. He did pick up Christina. Maybe there's like a little bit of responsibility. Again, he's nothing like, maybe I'm trying to read too much into it because I just kind of want to have a hero as a somewhat redeemable or some sort of a personality to it. But he's not the same as Marlowe or something, but you get a little bit of it in there, I'd argue.
I'm still wondering why she's got a stripper pole in her apartment.
Well, strippers.
I mean,
The kind of work.
She has the bar for doing the ballet. Stripper pole?
And that's the thing, the kind of work that he puts her out on, seducing these guys. But also it's off-putting. It's a good point, so the blend of different styles and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, ice in his veins to sit there and not even react.
I know.
In your neck.
I was like, what is wrong with you, dude?
You look at her, and she's like, "Oh, dokie."
Yeah, so she has to nibble on his ear. Then he'll respond.
Well, but it says, he is just so focused on this mystery. Nothing else is gonna break through that.
Yeah, yeah.
So why do you have a stripper pole in your house? Strippers.
Now you see her house too, kind of similar to his in decor, but different as well. A little bit more feminine, I think. That name, I have to wonder if the travel site named it after that character, Trivago. And the guy who plays Carmen Trivago, I've seen him in a number of things. I want to say he was even in Notorious, but I can't place him just from memory. We'll see him when we see him in a moment. Now again, he's
Fortunio Bonanova.
Yeah. He's good with the blue collars, so he's there in the family, kind of weird seeing him with a wholesome family dinner, but he's good with that type of pure person.
Pabst Blue Ribbon.
So one of these people, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I expected him to say, "You got to believe me."
Yeah. So one of these people, either the I forget the name of the guy they were just talking about, but that these men were after. In the book, it's mafia. In the book, there's nothing remotely. I won't give it away, but where this is going in the movie, they changed it from the book. In the book, it was just mafia, and that was pretty much it. New York City, that was the deal. But as he's finding out, he's tapping onto something quite big. A lot of handheld shaky camera too. Again, something you can't do for TV.
He was not in Notorious.
It wasn't, okay. He's a character actor. I've seen in other things though.
He was Dr. Cyclops.
I'm actually watching all the background characters to see if they actually do anything or just kind of stand there.
Yep.
And they're all like practicing, sparring.
I love this. This is what he's about to say right now, and he's gonna say, "Can I'll make it worth your while?" And he says, "Now again, I'm not trying to belabor the point, but some subtle phallic symbols. The way he was holding his cigar the whole time, and as soon as that guy brings up somebody that's connected to this conspiracy that's dangerous, you see that cigar just slump."
No.
Yep.
See, I was noticing the detail that he's not planning on smoking that thing anytime soon. Because take a look at the end of it. It's
not cut.
He hasn't been circumcised.
Oh, I like that. You can't top this. They let me, so they're gonna kill me. Basically, there's nothing you can offer me, more than that. So, and then the music, boom, to lead you in. Music really does hold your hand emotionally through the whole movie and tells you pretty much what to think at each point, more so than other films.
For you youngins out there, that's a payphone. They used to exist.
You gentleman and lady are going to have to excuse me for one moment. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Let me say, that's 48 minutes he was able to hold his bladder. Very good. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I was
Ba-boom.
thinking too.
Ba-boom, ba-boom,
How
ba-boom.
about some
Now,
fries
that's a
to go with
good-looking
that
shape.
shake? I don't know. I think there's something to be said for
The,
that style of one-piece.
the
bathing suit.
legendary Jack Elam in the Hawaiian shirt there.
Yeah.
Can't see his face well enough to, because the phone's in his way.
Hello. Well, there's a greeting,
Oh,
Well, hello.
right?
no one ever says hi to me like that.
Now, there's a line. You don't taste like anybody I know.
Yeah, this is a little steamier than I was expecting.
Cute dress. I was born on a Tuesday.
All right. Although he just pulls up and there's like a woman ready for his arm, basically waiting right there, you know.
Ready for his arm, ready for his lips.
I know, right?
And he doesn't taste like anybody she knows.
Mhm. Exactly.
Marion Carr is the actress name.
Vroom.
And again, you got this the men so preoccupied with their own maneuvers, whether it's gambling there or the mystery or whatever, and the women just can't crack them. You know, that's another trope for hardboiled detective stories, anyway.
I bet you can.
I do like Ralph Meeker for this role for a number of reasons because, you know, he's not as depth, but you see that grin that he has is just perfect. It's like it's almost sociopathic. Again, I'm not saying it's a good character you want to be like, but it's perfect for this kind of role because it's like, oh, that's cute. You're trying to seduce me, you know, but here's what I'm going to do to you. And you see later, you know, when he's trying to get information out of people, it's just that grin on his face. He's almost just having fun with this because he's smarter than them. He's 3 steps ahead, you know.
I like how she's trying to look like Marilyn Monroe. I mean, it's the exact same hairstyle that Marilyn wore.
That's
Well,
true.
that
Yeah.
was
And
the trend. Yeah.
How to Marry a Millionaire. And yeah.
And she's even do the really soft
Well,
voice.
any blonde who even resembled Marilyn Monroe, I'm sure the studios tried to have them
yeah.
act just like her and look just like her.
Still love that. I think it was Howard Hawks too, if I'm not mistaken. But that movie, once we get to screwball comedies, How to Marry a Millionaire, it had Lauren Bacall, who was a little older at that point, but still a star. Betty Grable, who had been sort of the last Marilyn Monroe before Marilyn Monroe came on, and then you had Marilyn Monroe, and all 3 of them proved how really great they were at comedic acting. So now he's in this pool house to change for the pool, and he's looking for the shoes that he remembers because that's all he saw, you know. And he's sending these 2 thugs in to get him. I love this, just like last time.
Boom.
You don't see it. All you see is the other guy hightailing it out of there.
Well, and I love that, right? It's like
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
normally see that. Normally, you'd see the other guy go in too, and then get it handed to him. This one's like, yeah, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen this early of a Jack Elam.
Is that who that guy's name is? The actor?
Yeah, with the crooked. Yeah, with the one who backed out, Jack Elam.
Oh, the crooked eyes.
Like
Yeah.
Cannonball Run.
Oh, that's that guy in the older years. Yeah, I don't think I've seen this yet. I didn't even know that was the same guy because he's so young here. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Support your local sheriff and gunfighter.
Huh. Okay. Always played that goon. Guess he got that look.
Yep.
So you've got the
Eyes on Lacoste.
I like that. That was crude. We keep underestimating you. This is very civil sparring match, but sparring match nonetheless. And that's true. He is lucky, but he's also 3 steps ahead as a stand-up comedian. I mean, stand-up comedian. As a hard-boiled detective.
Hard-boiled. Oh my Lord! Where did that come from?
I think I was still in the screwball comedy. I don't multitask. It's hard enough watching a movie and talking about it at the same time. Now again, like smarmy but insulting. What's it worth to you to crawl back into the gutter you crawled out of? Now he's just toying with him now, of course. He doesn't plan on being paid off. Too late to set a fee. Line's been crossed. Angel's Flight. Yes, that's Angel's Flight in Los Angeles. I don't know if that's still there or not, but it was one of the landmarks you can see in LA Noire and fight some crime around.
More stairs.
Yep. Stairs. Now, so we start to think, what could the stairs mean? Well, in the course of his investigation, he's certainly climbing into different levels. Absolutely. But we see some kind of God's eye views of the stairs as well. So there's a precariousness to the stairs, We'll tie them together more when we get to the end. Get a heart attack walking up here. Follow your ear. So the operatic. Wolfton Media said we're getting some scenes where the last goon that takes off after most of his pals got beat up again. Thank goodness for that. Yeah, there's always one smart one to get the heck out of there. Angel's Flight is still there. Thanks, Steven. Yeah, you live out there. Yeah, thanks. That is still there. Cool. Good to know. Do they still keep it nice, or is it all graffitied up and stuff? Or, is it still kind of preserved as a historical thing? Now, I like this framing here. He's singing out the window to an imaginary audience. Behind him, he's got like long johns hanging on the line. And Mike enters from the back, seeing him from behind. So seeing the real, not fraud, but the reality behind this image in his mind.
Oh, he's Sergeant Schultz. Hogan's Heroes. Does he just drink this other guy's drink? Ew.
I always love those models with the little basket weave on them. The Chianti bottles.
And there's no mending the one he broke. Well, does she have clothes on this time?
Who cares?
Well, you might want to run around town just a row, but you know. This is such a happy guy. He's like a puppy.
This is so sad.
Man, that's brutal.
Friendly little mix.
He just saved her life. She's grateful. That chain won't hold anything.
How long have I been muted? Have you guys heard anything I've said for a little while?
No, not
No.
for about the past 5 minutes or so.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I've been commenting and saying all these things.
Oh,
Wow,
we thought you
okay.
had to
Just got
visit
into the movie.
the little professor's
No.
room again.
You know what?
I thought you were unnaturally quiet.
No, I've been commenting on everything, and I just popped over to check on Al's mic and everything too. And I was like, "Why am I muted?" I'm sorry, Chad. I am here. I was even reading some comments and everything. Wow.
Oh,
Nope.
I know why I was muted, but it wasn't the reason. I thought it wasn't the reason that may have happened. It
Well,
was my
because
own. My throat did a weird thing.
No, see, you couldn't hear me, so I was saying, "Al, are you okay there?" And then Al wouldn't respond to me, so I go over there and check the thing. So,
Oh.
hey, if that ever happens again, because you know me, I don't like long swaths of silence on my rewatch, so I'll fill them up. If I ever stay silent for long, shout me out because that probably happened again. Mr. Massick said it was quite peaceful until now.
The funny thing, I was thinking the same thing myself. I was like,
Oh, heck with you
"Is that
guys.
awful?" Wow, it's like the professor's really letting himself enjoy this film. He's not worried about all the minutia anymore.
Hey, the analysis is enjoyment. Well, Tim Media says it was eerie. Thank you.
I thought you were just really getting into the movie like I was.
That sheen of cold sweat again. One of the things I was saying when you couldn't hear me was again how these actresses, just reiterating the point, they're not ugly women by any means, but the lighting and the makeup and everything is not
Ooh,
going out of its way to be flattering.
darn panning up of the camera.
Oh well.
I think he's muted again.
Me or Al?
You. It went quiet for
What?
a second.
Oh, because Al, I was like, oh Al. And then I was listening to this voiceover that she's doing because she's there talking to him, but it suddenly sounds kind of ominous, and she's talking about people. It's the they, it's always the they. And it gets at this idea that, especially with what they find out about where this mystery is leading and who the bad guys are, or what the big thing is or whatever, this is the mid 50s. It's not coming right off of World War II, where the bad guys were very definite. Hitler was a definite evil, the mafia, they were a definite evil, or the gangsters or whatever. Who is the bad guy? It's a little bit more ambiguous, and her little voiceover kind of echoed that. Who is they anyway? And stuff.
Awfully nice, awfully like domestic. Sometimes when she's like with him, like laying down, head on his lap, but with a pillow, because let's not get crazy here. It is the 50s.
Well, she said earlier, she's like, I like it when you're in trouble because when you're in trouble, you come to me.
Yeah. She is the balance to the femme fatale. She's the good girl, or the quote unquote good girl, but the one who really truly loves him, is loyal.
But what an unhealthy relationship. I like it when you're in trouble because then you come to me.
Exactly.
Great. That's dysfunction.
Now, that loaded question. Do you want me to date him?
Wasn't the answer she's looking for.
So again, you're doing that for him. What about me? I've been here all this time. Quest for the great what's it. Great way to say something they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good way of putting it too, contextualizing it for the hard-boiled detective. Your quest for the great what's it. They don't know what it is yet. They just need to know what it is behind whatever the mystery is,
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way of putting it. They just have this insatiable quest for the great what's it. I love that. I agree with Tim Media. Sadly, I used to assist it to you, Troy Pacelli, but sadly, the Norman romances in modern media is unhealthy relationships. I know you rarely see just a healthy. I mean, the ups and downs. There's drama to relationships or whatever, but you rarely see a healthy one in fiction or public media. Really like her voice. Love this song that she's singing too.
Mm-hmm. I love her eyes too. I remember when they first go in there. I remember I was watching it earlier. I was like, man, woo, those eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Love a nice pair of eyes.
It's a nice little musical interlude. Need to find the name of this song. I forgot. I think I missed it in the credits, but it's a cool song. And in a second, he's going to talk to the.
I think it's I'd rather have the blues or something like that. Wasn't this the same song that Nat King Cole was singing?
I'd rather have the blues. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Nat King Cole song, but a different rendition of it. So you got it begs you to compare where Mike Hammer is now to where he was when he first heard the song. And that was with Christine at the beginning of this, didn't really care or whatever. Now he's in over his head, even to the point his friend has died. And I like the fact that he's going to pour this toast with the bartender there. And right here, who are we drinking to? And he says, Nick. And then the bartender says, Va Va Voom. So they all know. You got this idea that all this blue collar community, or quote unquote blue collar, whatever, just that not the ones in the upper class power or whatever, they all kind of are connected, know each other. And he's poking the bear with the upper levels, trying to find out, behind the police, behind the, whatever these powers are that he's trying to figure out. So that's that dichotomy. And then we have these stairways, constant stairways up between levels. So again, it's all part of the same theme. Now, they've taken the woman he constantly sends out. So there's an honor matter, but then possibly maybe forcing him to, hey, I actually do care about her.
Yeah.
Love that soundtrack, that horn. The music almost kind of shows you how drunk he's feeling because it's a little wobbly too as he's walking,
Yeah.
Probably got a hangover.
Yeah. He's been sleeping it off there for a bit. So now going back to the very service station he was at. So the letter was addressed to him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like this, it has to be an actual camera mounted. Yeah. I mean, that camera has to be mounted to the car, right? Even though it looks sort of funny. Yeah. So it's just,
yeah.
I think it's that, like Troy was saying, that depth of field where the foreground and the back are focused.
There is two guys in your apartment. How would you not see them?
Yep, because he's so focused on that mystery, the letter.
One's got a gun, one's got a sap.
Mm-hmm. He's looking for a little revenge. No, I guess it's pressure points or something, but seeing this this sap, which just kind of like bends like rubber or whatever, and just kind of a little slap on the neck. It's just hard for me to believe how that can kind of make you that dopey, but maybe it's just pressure points or something.
What, the blackjack?
Yeah.
Well, the blackjack usually is like got a little thing of lead in it.
Yep.
Oh,
at the
okay.
very tip.
The way he's bending it, I guess, just made it look different.
Well, it's
On a spring.
leather strapping with lead ball bearings sewn into it.
So it's the swing. It's like the
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what it is. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's like a cross between a little club and a brass knuckles.
Gotcha. I was a security officer, like a nighttime security officer for a apartment complex one time, and I could carry a nightstick or a baton or something like that if I wanted to, but I was like, why would I carry something that someone could take from me and hit me with? I'll just keep the cell phone so I can call the police.
Yeah.
You're like, where is this guy gonna run to?
I know, right? The ocean's right there.
He's going to try to swim away.
That's an ocean. There's nothing nearby.
Davy Jones's locker.
Funny.
Yes, Tom Spiegel. Yeah, because you guys couldn't hear me. I was That's right. You guys couldn't hear me all through Nick's death. Yeah, I was lamenting the loss of Nick, just like you guys were. I was saying, "Oh, this is so brutal. It's so hard and horrible." I couldn't believe you guys can't hear me that long.
Yeah, that's what you say now. In reality, you're like, I don't care.
If that ever happens again, you know something's going on with the mic.
You know what it is? Because Nanette, Troy, and I are so used to just being the three of us that when you're you sometimes we forget about you.
Yeah, we forgot you were here.
Wow.
Mean.
Wow.
No, not in a bad way, but just like that.
It's true. We kind of have gotten used to the
three.
Yeah.
In a good way. We don't miss you. We don't need you here. In a good way.
Actually, what he meant was we wish you were around more. We've gotten used to you not being around. We don't want to be used to you not being around.
There you go, Troy. See, Al, you got to connect all the dots.
Yeah, because he's not smart enough to do it himself.
His professor got burned.
If sound engraver's listening, get your violin and shoot it up to this poor lad.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was just a matter of time before that line came out.
Wow.
Gentlemen, I'm trying to enjoy a movie here. Behave.
That has got right the needle in the calf muscle. That's,
I hate needles.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about him either.
I used to hate
Mr.
him
Master,
now. I'm kind of like, who cares anymore?
Mm-hmm. Mr. Master brings up a good point. Why is Mike suddenly not able to defeat those two? Well, he was hungover, probably still drunk, and really grieving over Nick, and then trying to figure out they just found Velda was taking. So you can imagine how they caught him off guard at that point.
He had been hit by a blackjack.
Yes,
he wasn't exactly at full capacity.
Yeah. Well, Tim Media says, "You tell him, Ma Netters Network."
Ma Netters Network.
That is one ugly lamb,
right? Yeah. I'd love to know what he's mumbling, because he's trying to interrogate him at this point. They've got the sodium pentothal in his system, but he won't answer because he's mumbling something. It's almost like a technique. Like, I'm just going to go through this, recite something so I won't say something or whatever. I don't know. All you can hear is this mumbling, though.
Well, they're the ones that tied him so his face is in the mattress.
Yeah, that'll do it too. In really vulnerable position too. You can't see what's coming or anything. Your back is to everyone.
It's got to be uncomfortable for the actor to lay like that for a long period of time.
Oh yeah. But of course he's been at work, so we see that here. Well, Tim Media is asking about Mel Brooks rewatches. That's a question for Big Al Presents. We don't do that stuff on the Prust channel.
We just did Blazing Saddles several weeks ago, and there'll be more to come.
And we've done Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's Mel Brooks too. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Like to do,
in October we'll do a Young Frankenstein.
I would actually probably join in for Young Frankenstein. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's Frankenstein.
Right.
Frankenstein.
I'd
Yes.
like to do Robin Hood Men in Tights would be fun. And
Now I love this. So he's done. So he's loosed his hand. He says, "Okay, I'm going to tell you." He's playing the part here, and you have to watch kind of closely to see what his scheme is here, how he plays it out. I want to whisper. That grin. That grin.
I figured he took his hand out, grabbed his tie, and choked him with it.
Well, you're going to see here in a second. Now that voice sounded like him, but it might not have been. You know, it's a weird voice. So he said he's talked. You can do what you want to him now. There's the switchblade. Eee. So it's the wrong.
Oops.
Now, the man screaming, and this is he's just killed you. I mean, you made me kill my boss, and now you're here to take me out again. And this poor little man terrified again because just like last time.
He's like, "Oh, what happened?"
Okay, everybody's dead. I need to get out of here.
Right. And he took off through the window.
I'm just wondering, with eyes like that, does he see four dead guys?
If I remember correctly, and I if you listen to the commentary of the boxing match, it's kind of similar to what was going on in the scene, how he reversed and the other guy came back and everything like that.
Okay, yeah, interesting. See, I'd tune that out because it's sports talk, but that's a good point.
Well,
that's
of course
probably
you do.
is.
See what you're missing?
You're right. I'm glad you pointed it out. You got something I missed.
Hey, she's wearing clothes.
Which would have been Velda.
What a smell.
Yeah, no. Again, just like so awkwardly trying to get his attention. But childlike. That's the thing you have to attribute to her.
He's hungover and he's having yet another drink.
Hair of the dog that bit you.
Hair of the dog.
I knew you were going to say that.
Jake, share me a Coke.
You could tell we've been hanging out a long time when I know when you're going to say something before you say it.
Pretty much, yeah. You guys know me. You know me quite well. So Remember Me was a poem by Christina Rossetti, and he finally realizes that's in the book that he found on her table.
You see that light behind his head?
Mm-hmm.
It hangs down from the ceiling. And those kind of lights were really neat because you could slide them up and slide them down, and there was a mechanism in the wire that would extend.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that what he did when he went in to look at the letter when the guys jumped him?
Oh, did he? I missed that.
Yeah, he actually pulled the light down. I didn't catch it until you said it. Excuse me. She says they tried to get in. Now look at the way she's saying that. It's almost like she's trying to break him from a spell. Mm-hmm. And she says they, and that's the word that catches him because that's the word said. They. Who is they? You know, he's getting close. All right, so she had hidden something. He remembers the last words of these poems.
Now, the guy playing the doctor here, very recognizable character actor. Mm-hmm. And those who watch Miracle on 34th Street every year might recognize him as the drunk Santa.
That's right. That's where I've seen him before.
Right.
Yep.
We've got to do something to keep warm.
Look at it. He's so creepy. He's like, he's a mortician or a forensic guy or whatever, but he's just like almost like straight out of a Universal movie. He's got those thick glasses and the way he's just solemnly, that little smile.
And it's like, you solved the riddle. She had something she
Mhm.
couldn't hide. She swallowed it. And he just nods. He goes, and you
Yep.
got it. He's like, uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And now we're going to find out
Per- his-
what the
his-
name is.
he's got a great name. Percy Helton.
Percy Helton?
Percy Helton is the actor playing the Doctor.
Sounds a little too close to Paris Hilton.
Clearly, this guy is some sort of an ist because he's got Abe Lincoln up on the wall there.
Right. Now look, he takes that money first before he offers.
Well, he's pragmatic.
Now his reasoning here, he's trying to shake him down for more money. He thinks it's worth a lot more. And Mike's willing to pay it first, but he can only be shaken for so much. And we're going to see that grin again, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've already established that he's got money. So at first, money doesn't matter to him.
Exactly. But now it's a sense of pride almost. No more.
Exactly.
You get no more. Yeah. Ouch. Look at that grin.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, I was taking a drink.
It's like,
But
you're a doctor. You want to keep your hand?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's loving it.
And he kept that going way longer than he had to. He was enjoying it.
Oh, yeah.
Sadistic. Yeah.
Can't forget a phone book.
But do you think that devolution goes this far back? Because it's like the heroes, going from, Sam Spade to Mike Hammer to, Punisher, or the modern Batman.
Well, I don't think that's the same thread that we see with the deconstruction of the aspirational hero. I think what we're seeing here is actually the evolution of the vigilante, who is brutal, the anti-hero almost.
Okay, I see what you're getting at. Okay,
Yeah. At least that's how I was meaning it when I first said it. Probably just didn't use the right words. But I love this when the money doesn't work.
Well, because I was misattributing the family line. You're
Yeah.
seeing it going on a different line, and that's reasonable. Yeah,
Different branch of the archetype tree.
exactly.
When he was refusing the money, I thought he was looking down at him like, that's not nearly enough to be a member. Nicholas, who's dead.
Exactly. And so hiding something, it was the key, but what is the key for? So this is the big deal. This is the big,
Dead body?
could be anything at this point, right?
It's big enough for a dead body.
Look, it's an honest to goodness MacGuffin.
Well, it's really interesting that what's inside this box is really the key to tying to the message of the movie and the theme of it and stuff like that. But you don't really find out or get this piece of the puzzle till this late in the game. It's a fascinating way to do a MacGuffin kind of thing like that.
I like that case, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And why the heck didn't you take it out before you tried to open it?
Right, yeah. Take it out of the. I guess
make
maybe he
things
thinks it's a
harder.
bomb or something. Possibly, I don't know.
And I just made things harder for himself.
Yeah. It's hot.
Oh, I know what it is. Well, there's really only one thing it can be.
Mhm.
Don't.
It's a Medusan.
Oh, gosh. That's okay though. He's got a nictitating membrane over his eyes, so he's fine.
But that noise that it make, we were talking over it there, but that noise, the sound effects and everything, it's monstrous. So it's some sort of radioactive, you don't know what. It's some sort of atomic or what, but they treat it like it's a monster of mythology. And we'll see that treatment ramp up throughout the rest of the film big time.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't secure it properly.
Yeah. Didn't really take the time to.
Put the thing on and didn't strap it back in.
I like how they have him walk right into the camera.
Mm-hmm. So she's gone. Matt Newey says 90% of superheroes are vigilantes. Superman, Spider-Man are vigilantes. The word just means they're acting in a law enforcement capacity with no legal authority to do so. Yeah, technically, but that's not what the word means when you're talking about the archetype. You know, there's a difference between the vigilante, like Punisher, or Superman, who actually works in concert with, with the mayor and quite often with the president or whatever. But then you've got Batman at least working with Commissioner Gordon. So yeah, you could argue that with semantics, but I'm talking about the specific archetype of the vigilantes, kind of a different thing.
Now, I'm maybe this isn't a question you can answer right now at this point in the story, but that presumably fissionable material that he just, with the light and the sound and whatnot, are they being ultra realistic with it? Am I supposed to draw a realistic conclusion from that, or is it just, for the average person, this is radiation? That's all you need to know.
I think, yeah, you don't really get specifics. It's not like a hard science, to it or a reveal.
Okay. The reason I ask is because for there to be that much light and even a sound, just speaking real science, this would have had to have been a criticality accident. And he's going to be like dead, like
exactly.
in weeks.
Yeah, infected, radioactive. Yeah,
right.
But that's the thing; they kind of play it more like it's an atomic threat, but they play it off more as like this mythical, monstrous danger than a hard science. So you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of treatment.
Okay. So we can take it more allegorically than literally.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could believe that he's infected and he's going to die at some point if you want, but it's not really. That's not part of what they're going for here.
Gotcha.
I'm going to pronounce a few words. They're harmless.
Well, they're talking about it right now if you listen.
Yeah. And this is the moment when Mike finally puts the pieces together. All the puzzle pieces fall together. And you look at his eyes, this is the most emotion you've ever really gotten from him that wasn't a sadistic kind of pleasure or a mourning for his friend. Like, he suddenly understands, this is bigger than me. I thought nothing was, but this is bigger than me. And then he hands him the key. That's a huge moment for our hardball detective.
Well, I'm seeing a little fear there.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Again, he just cooperated, but they're gonna still be snotty with him.
This guy's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but we don't know all their history. He may have been pushed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone bullies you enough, you start to get callous to him.
Now, for Mike Hammer, the hardball detective, there to almost apologize by saying, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Again, that's wow, talking about a character moment,
right.
For somebody who's just been muscling his way through the whole movie thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and for you youngins, that's a dial phone. Those used to exist too.
The poor desk attendant.
Mm-hmm. Is that statue over his fireplace?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did he actually think that looked good?
Well, there is a reoccurring image of statues in the background, and that was sort of modern. And a little bit, we're going to see one going back. It's almost as he peels back the layers of the mystery, he's almost peeling back things in time into antiquity, as we'll see here in a second.
He knows who's here recently.
and the cigarette. So
Mhm. Smoking kills.
And I like the moment when Diker sees, like, he's just lit up another cigarette, and he realizes his mistake. You know, he's able to catch on to it. Makes it more frightening.
And he knows Mike would notice that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, now he's gonna start a fire.
Oops.
That's a myth. Cigarettes don't start fires.
That's right. Cigarettes don't start fires. People start fires.
People start fires.
He knocks it onto the floor. It's gonna start a fire.
I like that. You know, he's overly violent and stuff like that, but that little slap, it's like, I'm not trying to beat you in that moment anyway to truly cause harm. I'm trying to get the information out of you. You know, it's like he's you know, it's his ultimate goal at this point. Anything he needs to do to save Velda. Now, this is that big art collector that we talked about earlier, and I just love this clip clop of the shoes on the floor and that echo. Now we see all this art, and you watch. There's a subtle, not complete, but a subtle, overall consistent projection to going back into more older art.
I like how I just said for sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why would you want to take sleeping pills right now?
Well, remember, giving information is harmful. So if he's asleep, he can't give any information that might incriminate him later. But it is kind of like you're going to be vulnerable if you're asleep there, you know? So it's...
Okay, dude, you're going to
I
overdose.
hear he's about to kill himself is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because now he doesn't know who's there for him either, you know? He doesn't know it's a detective or whatever. So I love that the camera's through the medicine cabinet. Like, literally, you're seeing Mike enter through the medicine that the guy took, you know, just as he does. Of course, realistically, if you downed enough to fall asleep that fast, you'd probably vomit it right back up.
True.
Right? Now, that statue in the background is kind of the trajectory or the progression where I'm going for. Now we've got this, I don't know for sure, but it's almost like a Greek-looking or a Roman-looking statue overlooking the scene here.
I just beat this guy up. Let me put on some music.
Yeah. No, I think that's Chopin, as if
okay.
If IMDb is to be believed.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that chopping guy.
The chopping, the tie chocks and chopping.
Yeah.
Did you see the doctor's name on that bottle? It said Dr. Soberin.
Well, you guys were mispronouncing the names. You know what that's from, right?
Yeah, that's from Greece too.
Thank you. Yeah.
Reproduction. Now she remembers Velda talking about the name Dr. Soberin, so that's something else. Yeah, Matchstick Art Renaissance knockoff, quite probably. Yeah.
And apparently he's a hoe. Hey, it's our first phone number. Hoe.
Wow. I think you were the last person I ever would have guessed to make that joke.
Oh, yeah. And kids, way back in the day, phone numbers started with letters.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because every now and again she'll say something and I'll just shake my head and go, you know, there is no way that the professor or sound engraver would believe you made that joke.
Hey, try hanging around you guys all this time, okay? I pick it up.
Yeah, no, I've known you long enough to know your humor predates this stream.
All right, now here, this guy's almost over the top with the mythology speak. So he tells her her name should really be Pandora, because it's like a Pandora's box. And yet her real name is Gabrielle. And Gabrielle, of course, the archangel, Gabriel's trumpet announcing the apocalypse. And then he talks about, it's the Medusa, it's the Pandora, it's Sodom and Gomorrah, Lot's wife, looking back. And in all of those myths that he's saying, the Medusa, Lot's wife, not a myth, but you know what I mean? All these stories, Medusa, Lot's wife, Pandora's box, looking is the thread that connects them. Looking back or wanting to know more, right?
Right.
That's the hardboiled detective following the mystery, pulling the threads. And the insatiable need to look, to find out, can get you in trouble, as it ultimately did my camera in this movie. But we'll see how it ties into the ending here in a bit.
There's also a running thing with the women when they touch something. It's usually with their palms, not with their fingertips. Like when the girl at the pool house was holding onto Mike's arms, it was with her palms. She wasn't touching with her fingers when she was grabbing his forearm. It was her palms only. She was just pressing the case with just her palms.
And what does that suggest to you? That there's nothing ginger about it. It's full on commitment.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't catch that. Wolf Tamidi says, "Gasp! Ma Netters Network." Gross.
He's like old enough to be her father.
The creature comforts you've given me. I love that angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
assuming
now
that he actually got hit and he's not just suddenly having like an
Indigestion.
episode.
So the femme fatale is definitely revealed here.
Yeah.
And all of the little subtle things she was doing to make her so childlike and kind of kooky crazy, suddenly it makes it even more terrifying that in the femme fatale context.
Mm-hmm.
Don't open the box.
Now I like this. Even though he's about to die, he still
Gives her,
tells her don't open
an
it.
honest warning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got the screw you look on her face.
Mm-hmm. I do what I want. Yes, it's like it's a child with a bomb, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, she's convinced there's like, I don't know, diamonds or something in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, the facades are thrown aside. Oh, that's creepy. That hello, Mike, that smile. And then she demands that he kisses her. I mean, that's the stuff of nightmares right there. That is just crazy with a gun. Right, Matchstick? Ugh. Look at the way she says that. The liar's kiss.
Yeah. What is it you say, Matchstick? You don't something crazy?
Clap, clap. Ugh. And she shoots him even before the kiss. At the same kind of level where she shot the other guy. So you're led to believe, oh, well, he's going to die. He must be dead,
Yeah,
of course, the angles are playing tricks on you, but
I think he's got that book of poetry in his pocket, and that's going to save him.
Oh,
you're going to die horribly.
mm-hmm. But again, look at the sound and the lights and the effects. Again, it's like a monster. It's like a mythological monster from the abyss crying out, and it's so creepy.
What's funny, she touches the top, then she takes her hand away like it's oily, but Mike had said it was hot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's hot.
So why would
Like
you rub her fingers together like this? Like, oil.
Yeah. Dulling the pain maybe or something, but you hear that? It's like a it's like a hiss.
The cackle
Like
of the devil.
Cackle and a hiss.
Yeah. And she still opens it.
I know. I was
Yeah.
like,
But it's that looking, right? It's Lot's wife. It's the Medusa. You can't look away at that point for that person.
Okay, yeah. If this is real fissionable material, then this is a criticality incident.
Mm-hmm.
There's like tungsten carbide in there and plutonium. So
Mhm.
yeah, he's probably going to die from radiation poisoning in the next like 3 weeks.
Well, he's screaming for Velda still. He finally hears her. But the world is like, I mean, literally the atomic bomb is going off, and he's searching for his girl. I think you can see a little bit of a progression and an arc within his character for that.
Well, if nothing else, his eyes have been open to a lot of things. He's seeing some things a lot more clearly right now.
Exactly. Matched it. Crazy clap gets clap. What clap? Crazy clap deserves.
Right?
See, when he came to on the floor and saw the box open, I thought he was going to slam it shut and she's going to die,
Mm-hmm. That music, I mean, that sound is horrifying. It blends. Her screams blend with the noise of the whatever it is, the fission material or whatever.
Right.
And I like the fact that they, to escape, enter into the water. So the house, bye-bye beach house.
Being consumed by the fires of hell.
Yeah, these the evil from the abyss.
I think y'all need to go deeper into the water.
Yeah, right. But so of course, like Troy was saying, if this was scientific, that would be like the end of the world or the end of the West Coast or something, you know. But to end right there with them still alive, it kind of, they're not really playing by hard and fast scientific rules. But
well,
what do you guys think?
How did it go in the novel? I mean,
the atomic stuff isn't in the novel. This is all what the screenwriter Aldrich bringing to it. Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to say something quite specific with this story, rewriting it in a way, So, yeah.
That is a freaky end, though. It does have that nice little sci-fi twist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really expect. You don't expect it.
It starts out, noir or detective, and by the end, it's like you're in a 50s drive-in, monster movie or something. Absolutely. And I think Aldrich knew what he was doing with that, too, because you would see that those tropes were in the sci-fi drive-in movies at that time. And he held it until the very end. It's not until those last little bit moments where you find out exactly what it is in the box, and then you get that kind of surreal from the abyss, element. And I think that's
and by drawing the comparison that you did to Raiders of the Lost, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was Al who made the comparison to Raiders of the Lost Ark. I could almost see this as like a Lovecraftian story. The whole, it doesn't matter what the MacGuffin is. The MacGuffin could be a box of plutonium, or it could be the Necronomicon. Either way, you open it and look, and you unleash hell on earth. So yeah, that's some good stuff.
Yep.
I may rework that into a D&D adventure.
Oh, nice.
What was in the box was not what you thought was in the box.
Right.
Age Boomer says Criterion put out a DVD release of it. Well, I guess so, because this basically is that DVD because the Criterion logo in the beginning. But yeah, you can buy it, which is good. Okay.
Nice.
So I guessed I didn't look it up, but I'm guessing it's public domain because this video that's been on YouTube has been here for years. It's how I first watched the movie when I was doing my film noir class, back in the day, and it's still here today. So I mean, usually YouTube's pretty good at taking stuff like down. That's a rights issue. So,
Tom Siegel said, "Saw her on fire, didn't see her face melting. Disappointed."
That's a Spielberg edition. Yeah. So glad you guys liked it. Yeah, there's a lot to say about it, but I think it's one of those that you process for a while too, and we can draw more connections about it when we watch others. But I do want to make that change. Troy's going to kill me, but I do want to make that change to the calendar because this was dark. This was heavy. There's a lot to it. Yeah, I like it. Like I said, I really like the movie, but I think just in terms of variety, instead of Out of the Past next week, which is a wonderful movie, and that's back to the classic film noir angle and styles, Robert Mitchum, it's great. But we'll bump that to 2 weeks from next, and next week we're going to do Laura, the Otto Preminger film. Yeah, you've seen that. Yeah, wonderful movie. Have you seen that, Nanette?
I don't think so.
Cool. I think you'll like it. It's It's a gorgeous film. Gene Tierney and Vincent Price. Who's the main guy? Dana something. The police detective. I forget his name.
Dana Andrews.
Andrews. Yeah, thank you, Dana Andrews.
Dana Andrews.
Yeah, that's it. So cool.
You know,
Right.
Dad would know the name. He's like this encyclopedia of like knowing things.
Yep.
Encyclopedia of knowing things.
Well, film related, you know.
I know some things. So Laura next week. So let me move this here.
Yep. I just did the same thing.
Hello. Oh.
Yeah. Are you not able to hear us or something now?
He's not muted.
No, there was just a quietness there for a second.
No.
I was wondering.
We were talking. It must have glitched on your connection or something. But yeah. Oh, one thing I want to say before, I should have mentioned this at the very beginning of the stream, but I'll put it in the Facebook group as well. And yeah, please do join the Facebook group if anybody hasn't. I think everybody here is already a member. But channel memberships on my channel. I really appreciate those of you who are still members and have been members. And I really appreciate those of you who were members at one time, but aren't at the moment. I dropped the ball on that big time. I thought I was like, okay, I'm going to do some extra special streams just for members. And I didn't have the time. I was like, all right, need to buckle down and get the time. And then I eventually realized I'm just not going to have the time. It's not something I can do. So I did. A while back, I was asking members to send me their addresses to my email. And I was going to send, and I did send out a couple. Of course, I never thought to send Net and Troy one because I already have your address, but I didn't get them at that time. So anyway, I owe some people some things. So if you're a channel member and I don't have your address, or just assume I don't, and email it to me to the email below. I have yours in Net and Troy, but because what I'm gonna do is those really cool memes that we've got happening now. I'm gonna send little postcards out of those memes, and you can frame them or do whatever. And if they've got me on them, I'll sign them. I am going to see Al this weekend, so I can even if we wanted to do the Onion Indiana Jones one first or whatever, Al can sign it too. Cool. We can send him around and stuff like that, so that'll be fun. So we could do the ones with the if Troy, if you and Al are okay with it, since you guys do a lot of the work on those. I don't want to take your work and just disseminate it or whatever.
No, it's what it's. I mean, I guess it's not what it's for, but as long as it serves another purpose beyond what it was originally for, I'd say that's great.
I think people enjoy it. People seem to really like them on the group, and if you're like me, you'd like to have them. I'll put it in my little bat cave here or something, little fortress of solitude. So,
I just discovered that I've been a member for 6 months, 17 days.
Oh, then yeah. So I owe some people some swag. Yeah. So if I don't have your address already, or basically everybody except Troy and Nanette, I think Agent Boomer gave it to me once, and I don't have it anymore. I should, in theory, have Stephen Cruz since he sent me stuff or didn't hear, but I don't have them anymore. I'm sorry, I don't keep track of things. So always, send that to me, and I'll send some stuff out. Stephen Cruz, don't forget to sign my copy, sir. Yeah, because Stephen Cruz won a giveaway I was doing one time for an extra copy of the Scrooge DVD, and he's like, "Are you going to sign it?" I was like, "Sure, I'll sign it." And he got it like, "You didn't sign it." I'm like, sorry.
Oh.
I did, to make up for it, I sent him a signed copy of my Heroic Inspirations book. So did do that. He was paid in full.
There's something.
But yeah, some cool ideas. Oh, Asphalt Jungle, the John Huston movie. That's another good idea. That's one of Marilyn Monroe's earliest movies too, I think. So yeah, so today's Tuesday. Thursday, we have our continuation of Star Wars Scoundrels book study. So chapters 9 through 12.
Also known as Just How Paranoid is Villagor.
Exactly.
Good Lord.
So that's fun. Probably something from Fan Man Friday night. Has he said anything more about that hour?
He did say he was going to do something.
Something. All right. Something.
This morning on the Second Cup Cafe, which he'll have another episode of that somewhere around the 11-ish Eastern Standard Time Thursday morning.
Okay.
He had a good show this morning.
And then Saturday. Al?
Saturday, the 1956 classic sci-fi Forbidden Planet.
Woohoo! Very nice. Very
Love
good.
that movie. Awesome movie.
Don't think anything is on Sunday as of right now, but
Isn't
should
that
she
there's a
that's Nick.
We're
Watch.
doing
That's
some
right.
Cowboy Bebops.
There is a Weeba watch, 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 a Weeba watch. Watching anime. Sorry.
Watching anime. Oh, that's good.
That.
I know better than to interrupt him. Clearly, he had a line he was going to get to, so just sit back and let him do it. Sorry, Mr. Matchstick. Because it's every other week, it throws me off sometimes.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. But lest I ever should forget again, Monday night, Sound and Waver had which I thought was a pretty awesome live stream last night, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show, except she had this it
was good, except for the
guest
guest
she had just was like, oh my lord, where did you find that guy?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Troy, you're within throwing distance.
What's that?
I said, keep in mind, Troy, you're within throwing distance.
Yeah.
Do it. I want to see it. I want to see.
Well, unfortunately, you see her throw something, and you won't see me get hit.
I gotta say, I want to see you turn your camera on and see her throw something and see you get hit. I think that would be fun streaming YouTube. Goodness.
Well, we interrupted you, so you never actually got to what was going on Monday night. So
yes, I don't know exactly what she's did. She said gave a little bit of a hint about what she's going to be streaming. But yeah, Monday night our Sound Engravers stream nights, coffee break nights, and they're always worth watching, always a treat. So
well, it'll be about art and music of some sort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, around 10ish, 9:30, 10ish. And then Tuesday back here for Laura, Auto Preminger, Laura. So that one I don't have a link to, but available from all your usual places. It's not like a Notorious. It's hard to find or anything.
No,
so
do I have that one? Hold on,
if you don't, you soon will, I'm sure.
I got it. Yep, I got it.
It's over there in your pile of booty.
Yeah, I am so happy because this week my excursions have come up with some really good stuff that's going to be getting on the calendar.
Nice. Very good.
Excalibur and
good one.
A really fun possibility, Zardoz.
Yes, Charlton Heston.
That's Sean Connery.
I'm sorry, Sean Connery, not Charlton Heston.
Sean Connery
I do know that one.
In a red diaper.
I've never seen it, but I know that picture.
Oh gosh, I know. Now
it is a bizarre film, man. John Borman, man. God, what a bizarre film that is.
Yep.
And the Quiet Man. I'm so happy with that too.
Nice. Yeah, that's a good classic. Nice John Ford. Cool. Yeah, thank you, Troy, for dropping all those links in there. And yeah, so that's good stuff. And of course, all these will be reiterated on the Facebook group. Love that Facebook group. So glad Troy finally talked me into that.
I've already updated the calendar. So
awesome.
And see, by doing it as that file, all I have to do is go in and edit it.
Oh, cool.
Change it. And I'll do that, for August. I'll do it, as we go forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. So that's good. Anything else you guys would like to say before we sign on off?
When are we going to hear another short story?
I'm so glad you guys liked it.
Oh, that was really good.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know if it would go over with this crowd as well as some of the other stuff, but yeah, I'll do another reading sometime. Definitely.
Yay!
Definitely have to do the noir one. That's a fun one too.
Lots of conjunctions. That's all I'm gonna say.
Were you rocking back and forth in the fetal position, Al?
I just remember that. That's because that was one of the first stories I think I ever did for you.
For me, yeah.
And I was going, doesn't he know that simple rule? You don't start a sentence with a conjunction.
I know that's an antiquated rule that you can now break.
Yeah, I know. I break rules myself.
I dangle participles.
Hey, there you go.
So does Yoda.
Indeed. I remember eventually Al's writing comments for me on the draft, and eventually he just stops correcting them and just starts writing grrr next to every time I would do it.
Speaking of dangling participles, you guys have seen the meme, right? Where someone says, Master Yoda, why does it go episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3? And Yoda says, wrote the calendar I did.
Yeah. That's perfect. Stephen Cruz for $2. Thank you, sir. Read more shorts, brother. Thank you. I will. That was fun. I glad the reading was okay. I think I flubbed a couple of times here and there, but overall I think it was okay. So All right.
I actually
that's-
want to. I think you should do a spin-off story. Do a superhero story about Blue Wonder.
I'd like to do more from the character. Yeah, a lot of people are telling me that they'd like more of that. I mean, he's clearly a Superman analog, but we can develop him a little bit more thoroughly, and yeah.
Although you call him Blue Wonder, and because it's coming from you, I immediately think of Fakor from He-Man, the blue He-Man.
Yeah. Well, no, he wears a blue, is like the bodysuit blue with the white cape and white boots, but
Well,
everything
yeah.
else is blue, I calls it. But yeah, no, I can see
But
that.
but the Wonder part, there was that one figure from Wonder Bread that was supposed to be.
Oh, that's right, the Wonder Bread He-Man. Yeah. All right. Well, folks,
I
thanks
know
for
some
watching
He-Man
tonight.
stuff.
You do. It's impressive. I like that. The toy stuff, anyway. That's good stuff. Thanks for watching. Come back Thursday. Come back to the Facebook group anytime. Always open. And thank you guys for hanging out and watching the movie with me as always. Love having you here. Nice to see your lovely face tonight, Nanette.
Thank you.
And until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the stories you love.
Careful with
Bye,
that
guys.
plutonium.